Assalamualaikum. Hello everyone. Welcome back to ComMinds podcast, the podcast that we organize to provide you with ideas, information, and also conversation about the researchers and also our students on what they actually research related to media and communications study. And I'm your host, Associate Professor Dr. Muhammad Saifuddin. I'm the Deputy Dean of Research at the School of Communications Research Malaysia. And we are very lucky today. We have our interesting guest, Shay, one of our master's student by research, Shay. Welcome to ComMinds podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so maybe we will start with introducing yourself first. Can you introduce about yourself, where you come from, and how do you, find your supervisor here and whatnot? Yeah.
Sure, I'd love to. So my name is Shay. I am actually from Iraq, but I've spent the majority of my life here in Malaysia, so I would call it my home. Currently, I'm taking my master's. I just started, so I'm very fresh, very new. So I'm still trying to iron out the details with my supervisor, and I find the place very welcoming, very opening, and I loved the whole introduction to it. Research is quite intimidating and overwhelming, so I'm still trying to figure it out. But so far, everything's going okay.
Yeah, so maybe we can introduce your supervisor as well, Dr. Nur Atika.
Yeah, Dr.
Yeah,
yes.
She was in last year episode, I think.
Correct.
Episode 1.
Yeah.
First episode for our ComMinds podcast, and today you are joining us for our season 2 episode 3.
Right.
Yeah, right. So it's really interesting to having you here. And today we are going to discuss on one of, I think, very important topic related to the young generation on how social media can shape their experience and then communication and also relationship with other people. So, Shay, can you first maybe share with us what motivated you to study on this topic?
Okay, so my topic is on parasocial relationship and social media. So for those who don't know what parasocial relationship is, it's basically a phenomena where a social media user like yourself, like myself, anyone that is on social media, create or imagine this one-sided relationship with a content creator or a media persona. It can be a celebrity, an influencer, basically anyone on the other side of the screen. So the reason why I got interested into this topic is because I grew up on social media. And
You're Gen Z, is it?
Yes. So I'm a digital baby.
Yeah.
So I realized there were like things that attracted me to like a specific content creator, or like I question, why do I like to invest a lot of time or put a lot of energy or spend money or do this and do that for someone who does not know I exist, and it's usually when, let's say back in my time, it was One Direction. I was obsessed with One Direction. I would spend, if I have only 50 ringgit, I would spend all that 50 ringgit on them. Why?
But Shane, just one quick interesting fact.
Yeah.
I'm also one of One Direction fans before.
See, so that's something very
At least I'm not that far from your generation.
Yeah, very young, yes.
Okay, so continue, please.
Yeah. So it's just these like little bits and pieces of like when I grew up and I started to notice that social media has a lot of effect and maybe a bit of control over our lives and decision making. And so I'm pretty interested in psychology as well. And it got me thinking that this is a very interesting topic. And the more I read leisurely about it, like I would read blogs or online articles or something like that, I saw how relevant it is to today's social media landscape, because now it's normal to form said relationships with people that don't know you exist.
So in relation to parasocial relationship, maybe our audience need a little bit of explanation from you, since you are researching in this area.
Right.
Can you maybe explain in a simple way, what does it mean by parasocial relationship?
So it's usually when you have friends and you're close to them and like you hang out with them every single day, you form a connection with them, and suddenly you just become friends. You share thoughts with one another, you talk to them daily or talk about them to other people. So in simpler terms, you kind of take that concept of a relationship or a friendship and then put it onto an influencer or a celebrity. So you think that celebrity is your friend. You imagine them to like part of your daily conversation. You talk about them. You maybe pick up mannerisms from them.
So you may feel they are important to your life
Yes,
as well, right?
exactly. Yes, you defend them. Sometimes, like people get offended when you say something bad about their favorite celebrity, so they would defend.
They're like your idol, is it?
Something like that. Yes, something like that. It can. There are different ways or levels of describing this kind of relationship because it is very multifaceted and very complex. So there's no linear way of explaining it.
Yeah.
But if we were to boil it down, it's just basically you're calling someone who's your friend, but they don't really know you.
Understand. So beside parasocial relationship, I believe there's another one interesting concept that you also focus on, which is the social anxiety.
Right, correct.
So why do you want to explore about the social anxiety, especially among the university students?
Okay, so from my understanding, or again from my observation, what I feel like a lot of people now live online, and there are pros and cons to being online and participating in said digital environments. So there has to be, it's not part of human nature to retract from society and then just to exist online. And the more you retract away from society, the less things you do face to face, the less interactions you have with real life people, there should be, or they're expected to be some side effects. And for people to choose online and texting versus face to face, there has to be some reason why they choose that. And what I have found out amongst some research papers or academic papers that were discussing this is people usually who have social anxiety, they get scared of interactions, face-to-face interactions. So they find that safe space online because it's low risk. There's no pressure.
So they can be considered like, a little bit different between online and also the real life.
Yes.
They are two different.
A bit, it's because the expectations and the pressure is very different. Online, you can hide behind a mask. You don't need to actually say who you are and show who you are. You can be you can role play it into be whoever you want to
Agree.
be.
Yeah.
But in real life, there are expectations. There's like social pressure maybe, or maybe you're in an environment you're not really comfortable. And once you say something, it's out there forever. But online, you can delete it. You can edit.
You will leave you a digital print.
You can,
right?
yeah, right. But the thing is, you can still delete the comment and then forget about it, But when I say something to you, I will remember it. You will remember it.
Yeah, true.
And yeah.
So, talking about social anxiety, it can be a little bit sensitive, right? Some people may be not really comfortable to even admit that they are in this condition. So, when you want to research in this kind of topic, have you ever thought about the challenge, especially the methodological challenge on, when you want to interview them or engage with your respondents or informants later? How do you want to, face the challenge and also overcome it?
Basically, because stuff like social anxiety, and it's still considered somewhat of a stigma, or people feel like it's a weakness or something that is offensive. So I think one way to kind of remove that stigma is definitely to talk more about it, that people nowadays, more people often than not will have social anxiety one way or another. So it's kind of break that kind of stigma or idea that it's a negative thing. And when you approach people that you are trying to study or interview, you have to like kind of use specific language that are softer, that's not judgmental, not accusing them or anything. So it's you kind of make them feel comfortable, and they're like not wrong or right answers. It's your experience and your perspective.
I think this is very important and good tips for especially for qualitative researchers, right? When you want to engage your respondents or informants, you need to build the trust and make them feel comfortable with you so that they can freely talk to you and give you more inputs for your research purposes, right? So let's just talk about your experience also as a student, master student by research here. And we forgot to tell our audience that you actually came from Iraq, right?
Yeah. I come from,
but you stay here since
I was 3 years old.
3 years old. Yeah,
It's been a long time.
Yeah, that's why you say this is your home.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about as someone who already lived in Malaysia for quite a long time, right? And also study here. When you want to study the Malaysian student, do you think that the cultural perspective will also influence this kind of study, like, on social anxiety, on digital social media things? Like, do you think the cultural perspective is also one of the important that you can consider? Because Malaysia is very rich of culture.
Correct. Yeah, definitely. I feel like it will influence some of the outcomes of whatever topic you research. Because compared the parasocial relationship currently, it's mostly predominantly Western. So the societies there are kind of saturated within parasocial relationship.
Yeah.
But
also different in context, right?
Very different in context, because the priorities, the morals, a lot of things are very different. And Malaysia, from my understanding, it is a very collectivist. Like they're like social groups. Their families are prioritized, and social reputation is important. So these kind of things influence why would someone want to go maybe online to partake in parasocial relationships. It's some sort of escapism, or like I said previously, like role playing. You can go online and then be who you want to be. Interact whoever you want to interact with, and it can be a little bit of a break maybe from reality when things get overwhelming.
Yeah.
So I feel like it would somehow affect the outcome of it. Yes.
In real life, I think we have met this kind of situation. Some people, they really need to have their time online to really escape from whatever that is,
correct.
They're experiencing in their daily life. So, what about your plan as a master's by research? One of the requirements is publication, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about it? Have you planned about publication in future? I know this is an ongoing project for you.
Yeah.
But since we are talking about research and publication for this podcast, maybe you have a tips, maybe you have a plan that you can share so that our audience, especially the student, can get a little bit of information from you.
I have no plan.
Okay.
I am still...
The Tatika?
No, don't watch this.
Don't watch this episode.
AI. This is edited.
Yeah.
No, because I just started and I'm still trying to figure out the research.
Yeah. No worries, take your time.
Yeah.
This is like ongoing process, right?
Right. Yeah. It's very, because I had one research topic in my degree, and I thought it was the same, but it is so different because it's a lot more independent, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around the academic world. It's very vast, and there's so many requirements and specific structures and stuff that I don't know about yet. So I'm still taking it step by step.
No worries. I believe your supervisor, Dr. Tika, will guide you, and the process will make you a better researcher from time to time.
I'm sure.
That's a normal process. Everyone has to go through the same process, including myself.
Yeah.
I was like, last time, struggle a lot, especially during my master's and PhD. I did my PhD in Germany last time, and also, adapting with lots of things, like the culture there.
Yeah.
So different. Even not only the daily culture, like daily life culture, but also the research culture is a bit different than here.
Yeah.
So never mind. We will go through this and step by step enjoy the process. Okay. So this is the final session for our discussion today. A bit more relaxed on your horror story. If you have one, maybe from Malaysia. I believe you stay here quite a long time.
Yeah.
Or maybe even not only from Malaysia, maybe from do you have horror experience in Iraq?
I don't think so. No, because I would only go there for like maybe a week or two. And then
okay, then come back here.
Yeah.
So maybe you have one specific or very interesting, or maybe horror comedy story.
And okay, unfortunately, this answer might be very disappointing. I have never really encountered a lot of. You're talking about like scary. All of a sudden, I hear a sound, kind of.
Yeah, something like that, or maybe just horror, like not necessarily the ghost story, but something like happened to you without the ghost thing, but perhaps maybe you met strange people that affect you and feel it horror, something like that.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I think like the one horror thing that consistently happens, because usually as students we tend to not have proper sleep schedules. I think everyone has experienced this, that sleep is a foreign aspect. And there are times where all I do is just drink caffeine all the time, and I just sleep like maybe 4 hours. It's not really healthy. Do not do that.
Yes.
But it affects really, like, it affects a lot of things, like your thinking process, your vision, and all of that. So there are like times where I keep thinking that someone is passing by me.
Oh.
And I freak out.
Oh no.
And that it scares me, because I'm like, I'm home alone and it's very quiet, or it's like very dark, and I keep seeing something like, but it turns out it was just my hair. Going like this from the fan. So I guess like that's the most horror I've
experienced so far.
Yes, so far.
Hopefully you won't experience it at all.
Yeah. So it's not really, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. I think I would like to wish you all the best for your master's studies, and please enjoy your study here with us, especially with your supervisor. She's a very good supervisor. I believe she can guide you all the way through to achieve whatever you want to achieve for this study, and also for your publication. And I think it should be beyond than that. As a researchers, we are not talking about just one paper or one certificate, but later on you will realize that you are a better and mature persons after you went through all this process. So thank you so much for sharing your research insight and experience with us today. And I think for our listeners, I would like to also thank them for always watching and supporting ComMinds Podcast. Okay, so if you enjoyed this episode, stay with us for more conversations exploring communication and media research and media culture.